Welcome CTA 206 students. This video is to assist you with the navigation of this course and to understand your requirements to complete this course. The first thing I want to point out to you is if you click on the syllabus, I do have an updated syllabus posted with my contact information, and also you'll notice below that it does record all of the requirements for this course, all the projects that you must complete. Mostly what you'll do is when you log on, when you connect with My Will Mu, and you click on your Canvas button and you open up the home screen for this course, you're always going to focus over here on the left side for the navigation. Mostly you're always going to click here directly on modules. Now modules will connect you with all your activities will be coming through SimNet, and I know they have this plan out. It's an inclusive access. This is where you're going to initially gain your access. I'm not real sure, so I'm going to click on it. I think that it's a little bit different for the instructor versus the student. So I don't know. For myself, I think maybe, this will be your initial screen, and all of you do not have an account, but it should automatically register you with your email address. I'm a little fuzzy on that, but I know there's, when you go to modules and you go down to your start here, here's all the information you need for SimNet access to get you up and running. So when you begin this course, the most important thing to do is get your SimNet access up and running, and then make sure that you go into your class introduction and introduce yourself to your classmates through the discussion board. This course does not have weekly discussions only because you have a lot of other work. So that's the thing about this course is you're going to have a lot of busy work. So it's a hands-on course via online, but I am available. I'm going to help you throughout the weeks, these 7 weeks. I'm going to help you stay on track, and I'm also going to provide tips and hints when it comes to developing your projects. So what do I mean by that? Well, when you click on modules each week when you come in, or as you're in the course weekly, and I would recommend working on your projects, at least finding an hour 2 to 3 times a week to get this stuff completed. Now, when you're in here, just know that these will expand and collapse. Sometimes most students like to just go ahead and collapse them. That way they can get to their designated area more quickly. That's up to you. But just know that there's, the chair information, the Office of Student Concerns is there for you. The student resources, just how to download. If you need to download this Office 365 for students, you will have free access to this. Also the goals, objectives, and textbook readings for each section for Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. But most importantly, what you want to do is click on Start Here. And again, you're going to work on your SimNet access. I will have my contact information uploaded here. I'm still building this site, but almost everything is done. The only thing I need to do is get my contact information out here and start right directly above modules. You'll see a link that's labeled as announcements. And this is how I'm going to chronically communicate announcements to the entire, to all the students in this course. So again, making sure you're on modules, you can expand and collapse this information. When you scroll down, make sure you're starting here, and then you're working on your class introduction. Now, if you notice, what I did is I set this up for all 3 of these sections, actually 4 sections here. So 4 sections, you have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and then your final week, which includes your final project. When you look at this headline, you'll notice I have a deadline. So there's a deadline for all Word activities, which begins on the 18th of July. There is a 10% penalty for anything that's late, and I will contact you about late assignments, and I will also report any missing activities to Wilmington University's early alert system. So you'll be hit by 2 means, myself and also Wilmington University. So when you start with Word, this here is just, this first link is just telling you, okay, this is what you're going to do in this section. Let me click back on modules. I don't know how to navigate back other than that. So it's just telling you what all activities, but if you look here, here is everything. So it's just, summarizing in this, but these below are links that'll take you directly to SimNet. So when you click on them, so for instance, the first project, um, and then let me leave this as student view so I can go ahead and show you that. So let me go back into the modules, um, and I'll go and bring it up under my faculty view so I can give you an understanding what to do. So the Let Me Try points are pretty simple. When you click on that, it'll launch into your McGraw-Hill. And again, I think you can bypass to get a full screen using this link. So, so I brought it up in its full screen because for some reason with me being an instructor, I just can't, launch it correctly. But just know that once you're in the actual course through SimNet, all the activities that you do here will transfer to Canvas. All your scores will be recorded there. So what do I mean by Canvas? Well, when you click on grades, you should see everything being transferred over. And just know that you can filter this stuff to arrange by, and I select to do the oldest to the newest due date. And then you can see all the word activities start to populate. So going back to this, the way I arranged it for each group, you have a group that's for your exams, your final project, your Let Me Try points, and also, and I'm going to blow this up, and then also your projects. So when you start, it's always recommended that you work on your Let Me Try points before you start working on your projects. Because when you're in your Let Me Try points, and always do the 1, then the 2. So let me go down. I don't know why it arranges it this way, but make sure you click on word 1 before you go into word 2. So the word 1, when you open it up, you'll see down below when you scroll down. Now you can see you can open up your actual textbook, and here's Open SimBook. That means that's your electronic version of your textbook. But if you go down below, you'll see that if you look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's your different topics. When you go over to the next column, you see that it's task, completed, and then here's information, view task details. Gives you some details, but you don't need that. What's most important and what you need to focus on, anytime there's the word none, you can just skip over that. Whenever you see 0 out of 3, there means that for this particular module, there are 3 Let Me Try points. You will not see your check mark, green check mark, until you received all 3 of those answers correct. So what you do is you click on it to launch it to go directly to that. But you'll notice there's other means of navigating around. So you can go forward, you can go backwards. You have this drop down list where you can go into the, a particular module. There's other means of navigating around, but mostly important to the very far right. This is where you'll exit out to get back to this initial screen for everything below. So when I click on this, and once you're in, if you know what points you need to work on, you can use that other navigation system. Now, I know this is taking a little bit to load. So what you do is this is actually inside your textbook. The requirement is for you to actually read this information. So you can read a little bit. There's always like a paragraph or two just explaining what you're doing. Then there's different techniques. You could read step by step with a visual how to achieve that. But most importantly, you need to scroll and look for this green button, which is Let Me Try. Now, the Let Me Try button is where you're going to gain your points. Most students try to jump right directly into that to see if they can go ahead and achieve that point. If you cannot, then you're going to go to the Show Me. But let me just show you how you can use these buttons once you launch the Let Me Try. Once you're in the Let Me Try, you can see at the top right-hand corner, you can navigate around to the Show Me. And just make sure when you're in the Show Me, when you're done, you have to toggle back to Let Me Try to actually get your point. So when you're trying, all you're doing is you're going over here to the left side, and you can see you can increase the font size if you want for your set of instructions. And it's telling you there's 2 steps for this one particular answer. So it's asking you to open up the Backstage view. So if any time you don't understand what it's asking or what the terminology is, that's when you want to go over here to Show Me. And Show Me, you play it, and it'll show you exactly what to do. So you gotta close it. If you do that, it brings you back to this screen. But if you go to, and let me go to show, if you go, Let me get that to play. And if you click on continue, all it's going to do is continue to the guide me. So just make sure you're toggling back up here to just bounce back to the let me tries. So opening the backstage view is, and they explain to you, when you click on this word file, this right here is telling you, okay, you got that step correct. That is your backstage view. And then you click on next to proceed in the question and say, now create a new blank document. And that's where your set of instructions were showing you how to create that new. You click on new, you go down here to the blank document. So, and then you click on continue. Okay, now if you notice when you're in this screen, you notice how it highlighted this show me. All it did was trigger to go to the next one on the show me button. So this is taking you to the next one. But if it's confusing, I always say just exit out. And you'll see when you're done, let me scroll up, you'll see that you now have a check mark. But it automatically did take you down to the next one. But the most important is always scroll down until you get through all the let me tries and you don't see any others that you have to achieve. So that's the goal of the let me try. So let me try, if you ever freezes up, it may be your browser, it may be a SimNet situation. And if it's SimNet, it's very important, and I'll make sure that I announce this to the students, is when you're clicking on this modules and you go to your start here and you're clicking on this SimNet access help and tutorials and it explains to you how to gain access, it's very important to recognize that this technical support, here is the 800 number and then here are the hours that they're available. The one thing about the technical support, they're phenomenal. It is a great tech support system. They're used to talking to Wilmington University students to help them out with their own personal PC or laptop or tablet problems. And they'll also explain to you step by step how to interact. So they have access to this course, they have access to our students, so they will recognize you and they will be able to walk you step by step to solve your problem. So make sure, because, if you notice, this Monday through Thursday, they're open up to 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you're at midnight, you're working on your assignment and you have a problem, don't let it stop you to shut it down and, figure out how to do the next day. Ugh. Just make sure that you pick up the phone and give them a call. Sorry, I thought I did. I am running out of recording time. I only get 15 minutes for free. So let me start there and let me continue on and make a part 2 so you can understand how to get through the project portion of SimNet.